Welcome to another video on binomial distribution. The formula reads, the probability of R is equals to n combination R times p to the power of R times q to the power of n minus R, where the smaller p is representing the probability of a success. Q is representing the probability of a failure. To get Q, you say 1 minus P. We'll get there later. R represents the number of successes desired. The question will tell you how many successes are desired. It can be 1, 2, 3, or even 0. Then N is the sample size, the number being sampled. Okay. Let's look at a typical question. Cool. It has been found that 1 in every 10 students, which means 10%, 0.1, who date in college end up in marriage. If we randomly select a sample of 9 students, what is the probability that no more than 2 students end up in marriage? Interpret your answer. N is 9. P, which is the success, okay, ending in marriage, is 0.10. Q is 1 minus P, which means 1 minus 0.1, which means 90, or 90%, or 0.9. And no more than 2, it means we're looking at probability of 0, probability of 1, and probability of 2. No more than 2. It is important for you to write these statements, because from these statements you will be able to then compute using the formula. Okay, so we've already discussed that the probability of marriage is the success, the probability of no marriage is the failure, which is that. And then we have our statement, the probability no more than 2. Okay, so our R can be 0, 1, or 2. Okay, R is the number of successes desired, no more than 2. Okay, let's do the calculation. I am going to show you how to do a binomial calculation using a Casio. I also have an option of a sharp calculator. Let me know if you want me to do another video on that. Alright, so we are looking at the question where we are saying we are looking for the probability that there is 0 marriages, and we have a sample size of 9. So our N is equals to 9 and our R is equals to 0, which means 0 marriages. So how do you go about it? Okay, so it's going to be 9 combination 0. Okay, so then I'm going to say shift, and I'm going to go here because that's where my combination is. You see an R there, and we are looking at 9 combination 0. I'm going to multiply that by 0.1 to the power of 0. So I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to put my 0. Okay, and I am going to multiply that by 0.9 to the power of n minus r. Okay, our n is 9, but we're looking for 0 marriages, which means 0 minus 0. I'm just using the whole expression so that I can show you how to do it, although we know that 9 minus 0 is 9. Okay, and then you say enter. There is your answer. Alright, if you want me to do another calculation using sharp calculator, let me know. Alright, now we can pick up from that video. Remember here we are saying that no more than 2. So we've already done our calculation for the first one, which gives us 0.3874 to 4 decimal places. We compute the next one in the calculator, we get that one. We compute the next one and we get that one. We add them all together and that is our final answer. Now, remember the question asked you to interpret the answer. Okay, so all you need to do is to go back to the question and look for what they are asking you. So you then take the statement from what they're asking you that becomes the interpretation of the answer. So it reads something like this: the probability that no more than 2 students will end in marriage is 94.7%, which is that. All right, let's look at another example, just picking up from the statement that we had from the previous question. I'm not going to read the question because it's the same statement, but I'm going to then talk about what they are asking us to do, which is different. It is saying, what is the probability that more than 2, right? More than 2 students end up in marriage? Interpret your answer. We have our statements here. More than 2, it means 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Up to 9. We have our formula, and this is our statement. R is greater or equals to 3, which is that. We write it down like that. We can't do this whole computation because it's too long. This is where we come in with the complementary rule. So instead of calculating from 3 right up to 9, we just take what we calculated earlier in the previous example, which is the probability of 0 and the probability of 1 and the probability of 2. We add all that together and we subtract from 1. This gives us the complement. You might need to pause the video and try to do it on your own. And then the next thing that you do is that after getting your answer, you then interpret the question, the answer, by saying the probability that more than 2 students will end up in marriage is 5.3%. All right, take care.